KPPB is an intellectual property law firm based in Southern California with national and international reach. We are fortunate to be a trusted advisor to world-class research institutions across the country. At KPPB, we measure our success by the success of our clients. Our attorneys are motivated by a desire to help transformative technologies move from the lab to the market. If you are interested in learning more about our services and how we might turn our expertise to your challenges, please reach out today. You can find more information about us at www.kppb.com.
You're listening to Autumn on the Air, the weekly podcast that brings you conversations about the impact of research commercialization and the people who make it happen. Join us for interviews with patent and licensing professionals, innovators, entrepreneurs, and tech transfer leaders on the issues and trends that matter most. Keep listening for an inside track on the people, IP policies, and politics changing our world.
Welcome back to our Indigenous Peoples Month series on Autumn on the Air. I'm your host, Lisa Mueller. Our series continues to shine a spotlight on inspiring individuals and organizations working to empower Indigenous communities. In today's episode, we're joined by Amanda Bernard, the founder of a virtual Indigenous marketplace, Shawish. Amanda is a proud member of the Madawaska Maliseet First Nation and a passionate advocate for Indigenous entrepreneurship and art. Amanda's on a mission to celebrate and promote the talents of Indigenous artists while empowering Indigenous businesses. She's a driving force behind Shawish, a platform that's making Indigenous art more accessible and providing a valuable space for Indigenous vendors. Welcome, Amanda. I'm so excited to have you here on the air.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
Amanda, let's go ahead and dig right in. And I want to begin by diving into the heart of your mission. Can you tell us more about the inspiration behind Shawish and how it's creating opportunities for Indigenous artists and entrepreneurs?
Of course. So there are many inspirations as to why I started Shawish, but one of the most important reasons came from my close friendship with Indigenous people who specialize in beadwork. Through these connections, I became aware of the incredible skills of Indigenous artists whose beautifully crafted designs often went unnoticed by the general public. It became clear to me that these artists deserved greater recognition and support, which led to the creation of Shawish. I envisioned a platform where I could easily find a wide range of authentic Indigenous products right at my fingertips. I also started Shawish because I wanted to see the presence of Indigenous jewelry more often in this Western society. So with the support of my friends and family, I was able to build Shawish, which is a virtual Indigenous marketplace where Indigenous entrepreneurs and artists can create their own shop and upload their own unique items. Unlike other marketplaces, Shawish does not charge vendors a monthly or transaction fee, which is an opportunity in itself. But we also put a lot of effort into marketing the platform across Turtle Island. So essentially raising awareness of all the diverse, talented Indigenous artists. Lastly, as well, my original last name was supposed to be Shawish, but when my ancestors were forced to change their names, they decided on Bernard because at that time, that was the name of their favorite priest. So in order to honor my ancestors, I did name the marketplace Shawish.
So how did it evolve into the platform that it is today?
For sure. Because I envisioned the platform with many unique customizations, such as enabling vendors to manage their own shops and ensuring that there was direct bank transfers for sales, I had to work with a developer who built the platform from the ground up. So together, we developed a custom system integrated with a few third-party companies, including Stripe Payments. After building the base of the website, I began inviting a diverse group of Indigenous folks from across Turtle Island to evaluate the site and provide feedback. It was important to me that the site incorporated Indigenous ways of knowing. Upon the recommendation of an elder, we actually implemented a training system on Shawish. So Indigenous people have been trading for generations, making it a very fundamental part of our history, culture, and economic well-being. Now on Shawish, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous people can engage in trade similar to what our ancestors did.
That's really neat. And let me ask you, how did you find the artists? Because I've been on your website and there's a tremendous amount of artwork and jewelry, as you mentioned, and blankets and all kinds of really spectacular things. How do you find all these different artists?
So I think it was from my connections to the communities already. So I do already work with a lot of Indigenous youth in Toronto, Ontario, and of course my family, which is located in New Brunswick. So at first it was a bit tricky to find these vendors to get them to sign up, but we've gotten to the point now where vendors are finding us and applying themselves. So before we would provide incentives, like if you upload 3 items, we'll give you like $50, but now it's they're coming to us, so it's awesome.
That's really great. And it truly is a remarkable Indigenous marketplace. So I'm curious, can you explain how the platform specifically empowers Indigenous inventors and artists in their journey to share their creations with the world?
Sure. So Shawish empowers Indigenous artists and entrepreneurs by providing them with full control over their shops and sales on the website. What sets Shawish apart and serves as a key highlight is our commitment to not charging vendors any monthly or transaction fees. This not only empowers Indigenous artists, but also underscores our dedication to their success. Our ultimate goal is to position Shawish as a destination where people come not only to shop, but also to discover a wide range of Indigenous products and experiences.
So, Amanda, you mentioned not charging transaction or monthly fees, but I also know verification is also a crucial aspect of Shawish. Can you shed light on how this feature fosters trust and ensures the authenticity of the Indigenous art and products that are showcased on your platform?
Yeah, so first of all, I believe it's very crucial to highlight the issue of Indigenous appropriation. Many large companies have profit from Indigenous inspired work, often taking away income from local Indigenous artists. As well, we are seeing more and more news articles about pretend Indians. So with Shawish, we offer a platform where customers can be confident that they're directly supporting Indigenous artists. To maintain this commitment, every vendor is required to provide proof of their Indigenous status or tribe. We also recognize that a significant portion of the Indigenous population may be unable to claim their rightful connection to their tribe due to various factors, including the 60 scoop. So therefore, Shawish does take these circumstances into consideration, and we do accept alternative documentation such as letters or other records that demonstrate your connection to the community.
So, Amanda, I want to ask you, when it comes to supporting Indigenous businesses and artists, what role do allies play and how can they get involved in this meaningful journey?
So, allies can play a crucial role in supporting Indigenous businesses and artists. For starters, allies can buy Indigenous products directly from the artists on platforms such as Shawish. This provides Indigenous artists with a source of income and helps sustain their cultural traditions. Allies can also use their own platforms and networks to promote Indigenous artists and businesses, sharing their work on social media, recommending them to friends and family, and writing positive reviews can all help increase their visibility and customer base. More importantly, allies should also take the time to educate themselves about Indigenous culture, history, and issues. This knowledge will enable them to better understand and appreciate the products created by Indigenous businesses.
Now, I want to turn to sustainability for a second because building a sustainable future for Indigenous people is a shared goal. Can you tell us about some of the challenges that Indigenous entrepreneurs face and how Shawish is helping to overcome some of these?
Yeah, so building a sustainable future for Indigenous people is indeed a shared goal, and Indigenous entrepreneurs face a unique set of challenges in their journeys. Some of these challenges include limited access to markets. Many Indigenous people live in remote or underserved areas, making it difficult to reach customers or establish distribution networks. Another challenge for Indigenous entrepreneurs is securing financial resources to start or expand a business, as well balancing Indigenous cultural practices with the demands of running a profitable business can also be seen as a challenging task. Shawish is helping to overcome many of these challenges by providing a platform for Indigenous entrepreneurs to showcase and sell their products to a broader audience, thereby overcoming geographic and market access barriers. The marketplace also offers resources, connections, and opportunities to access funding or investments. Shawish provides a sense of community and collaboration, allowing the artists to learn from each other's experiences and work together to address common issues. Lastly, as well, Shawish strives to preserve the Indigenous culture by continuing to listen and implement feedback from the communities that we serve.
Amanda, as I mentioned before, I've spent a lot of time looking at things on your website, and the volume of artwork and other products is absolutely incredible. And so your passion to build this up from the very beginning and your focus on Indigenous entrepreneurship and art's truly inspiring. What message or piece of advice would you like to leave with our audience regarding the importance of supporting Indigenous communities and their artistic expressions?
Thank you for your kind words. I would like to leave the audience with the following message. By supporting Indigenous communities and their artistic expressions, we not only celebrate their resilience and creativity, but also contribute to a more just and culturally rich world. Together, we can foster a future where Indigenous voices are heard, cultures are preserved, and the artists of these communities are recognized and celebrated.
Now, Amanda, I want to just turn inward to you for a second and ask you on a personal note, what's been the most rewarding aspect of your work with Shawish, and what keeps you motivated in this incredible mission?
Yes. So the most rewarding part of my work with Shawish is the opportunity to meet vendors in person and establish meaningful connections with the community. I find it deeply fulfilling to continue to learn new facts and insights as each Indigenous nation has its own unique characteristics. This continuously learning process enables me to further decolonize my own work and adapt to the needs of each community. What also keeps me motivated is my connection to my family and ancestors. I am driven by the fact that the culture and traditions of my family were unjustly taken away from them, and I can't help but imagine the impact that this must have had on them. This understanding fuels my determination to work towards the restoration of Indigenous culture, and I find happiness in the fact that I can honor their memory by supporting this mission.
Now, you mentioned about meeting vendors and artists and things like that. How often do you get out to do that? And what does the travel look like for that?
Yeah, so in the past so Shawish is only about 1 year old. And in the past 4 months, I would say that there's been more communication with these vendors. In Toronto alone, I come across different vendors. They're asking me to go for coffees. We're building those relationships. I'm learning what their pain points are. I'm also like doing anything that I can do to support them, whether that means like featuring their items on the main page or featuring their items on the social media accounts as well.
Yeah, and I did notice you are on platforms like Instagram and Facebook as well as others.
Yes, for sure. A lot of the time is spent.
And are you the only one who is involved with Shawish, or do you have some people helping you?
As of now, it's just me. I do have the support from my family and friends, and I do work with a developer who built the system. But right now, it's just me. But with that, I know it's quite a heavy work task. But I think for my main goal for 2024 would be to bring on another team, and hopefully another Indigenous youth is where I'm looking for.
Well, Amanda, this has been a really fascinating conversation. As the podcast comes to a close, I wanted to ask you, what are the future goals and aspirations for Shawish, and how can our audience continue to support Indigenous inventors and artists?
Certainly. So there are several ways in which the audience can show their support. One impactful way is by browsing and making a purchase on our online marketplace, which can be found at www.shawishmarket.com. Additionally, becoming a follower on our Instagram or Facebook page would make a difference in helping us reach a broader audience. Our Instagram account is shawish.market. And in terms of our future goals, we aim to enhance the website's capabilities. I envision providing even more customization options, allowing each shop website to have a unique template and the potential for shop owners to use their own domain names. Looking further into the future, our long-term vision includes the incorporation of Indigenous people from around the world. We aspire to create a toggle feature that allows users to switch between different Indigenous communities, such as those in Africa, North America, Mexico, and more, thereby fostering a global network of Indigenous entrepreneurs and artists.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for your time today. You are truly inspiring, and please keep up the excellent work that you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
That wraps up this episode of Autumn on the Air. We hope you found Amanda's insights about Shawish and its impact on Indigenous artists and inventors enlightening. Platforms like Shawish play a crucial role in empowering Indigenous creators and preserving their traditions. We encourage you to support Indigenous artists and businesses whenever you can. Join us for more engaging conversation in our Indigenous Peoples Month series. Until then, take care and continue to appreciate the incredible work of Indigenous artists and inventors.
Thanks for listening to Autumn on the Air with Lisa Mueller. Get social with us and share your thoughts. You can tweet us at AUTM or visit us online at autm.net. We'll be back next week on the air. Be sure to join us.